Welcome to the Oshawa Curling Club and this match of the ages. Team Howard from Penetanguishene and Team Bondy from the Unionville Curling Club as part of the Junior Cup. It was a auction, and the successful bidders, the Unionville Curling Club team of Dave Bondy, with Vice Sam Mia. The second is Brendan Mia, and Rob Scott, the lead. We pick it up in the second and a blank end to begin. Yellowstones belonging to the Unionville Curling Club and Team Bondy. The Howard with the red stones, and they've thrown up a couple of guards along the center line. Bondy opting to come into the house behind the guards. Now, this is a little unique. You're going to see Glenn Howard throwing lead stones, still suffering from a bit of a knee injury. Thought he'd give it a shot as lead, and will call the game. This one curling and will chip off the center guard. And so 3 guards to work with. A very clean opening end by both teams as they getting used to the ice here at the Oshawa Curling Club. An 8-sheeter. David Mathers. And again, a center line guard. And leaving the house open, and Bondy looking to get the first rock in. Brendan Mia, been curling for 7 years, civil engineer. This team's been together for about 4 seasons. This one's a little light, going to catch the curl. And now Howard looking at a tap. Or to just swoop in. It looks like he's trying to just swoop. Tim March keeping an eye on it. Very nice weight by Mathers. And right to the button. A little more slide to it, back 4. Bondy just going to follow it. He's seen the path now. Again, starting to curl. Front end working hard on it, but this is going to, again, curl in and chip that red. And there will be 1 red in the house and a little biter with the yellow. So 2 red right now, counting. Tim March. A shuffle in the lineup because of Howard's injury. And And this will join that red stone in the back 4. So behind the tee line, and Bondy will just try to lob this one on top of that red stone. Again, blank in the opening end. And a little messier end than the opening end. Opening end was more just a sense to get the ice. Very clean. Sam Mia, the vice. Very nice stone. It will curl in and stick around for shot. He's looking for a hack waiter. And what's interesting too with the Howard team, very familiar with arena ice. Of course, club ice is a little different from club to club. And you could see Glenn signal that felt it was going to run very straight. Now it's going to come off the line. Mather's able to get that moving enough and still sticks around. The shooter stays. 3 red counting. An intern looking to get to the 4-foot above the tee line. Been along this path, so it's a little more familiar for them. I'm going to need the backing. And it just nudges the red back and it rolls out of play. Still looks like 3 red. Yellow in the top 12 is just nibbling. And then the one at the back 12 belonging to Howard. Scott Howard now, who throwing the final stones. What's great is that all members, Howard and Mathers and March, all played in the TCA, which is now the Junior Cup. So very familiar with what the Junior Cup is all about and the opportunity as a junior to get some experience. And that's pretty good weight. But allows Dave Bondy the opportunity to come right on top of it. Dave, a veteran skip in curling for 27 years. He's an IT consultant. It's interesting to watch. This is during the junior curling time for the Oshawa Curling Club, and it's interesting to watch a number of these junior curlers sneak peeks over to sheet 4 to see the Howard team in action. Front end having to work awfully hard. Rob Scott, Brendan Mia, and very nicely swept right to it. Nice bump. Even gets a fist bump from Glenn Howard. So for Howard, pretty obvious, just wants to sit on top of it. This is getting to be a familiar path for them now. Maybe they're working the curl side. Very nice. Weight nudges that over. So for Dave Bondy, been down this path, but might have to be a little more to those two guards on the on the left-hand side, as you see, those two yellow stones on the left. And an opportunity for Deuce if he can move that red stone back. Last rock of the second end. Trying to hold it. Punch it right on the nose, as they do, and it will be a count of two, and Bondy very nicely played in the second end to take the lead. Able to score two. Now the hammer belongs to Team Howard. Rob Scott's been curling out of Unionville for over 10 years. This is a pretty good nickname he's got, Big Rocks. He likes to comment that he and Ed Wernick share the same birthday, June 23rd. I think a few years apart, though. Well, Glenn's knee must feel pretty good as he goes into the third end. He was a little concerned. He said he's got to work an awful lot harder now as he's getting ready to just turn 60. We were joking in the locker room. He says, yeah, all my body parts now are starting to feel the pain. He had the rib injury a couple years ago, and that was from the snowmobile accident that he had, and that was the one that forced Wayne Madaw into action at the Brier. Talk about having a super spare. And Madaw, of course, his body parts aren't 100% after the skiing accident. But it looked like he never missed a step. Nice to have that in your speed dial, Wayne Madaw. Now looking to go around is Rob Scott. This one might not have the juice for it. Good sweep, though, by Sam and Brendan. Just a little less weight, caught the curl. Now asking Glenn to come in. through the port. And to the back 4 into the 8-foot. So Brandon looking just to follow it down. Boy, you see the curl on that. It just nudges that red back into the 12-foot. Looks like yellow is shot. Again, you could hear them identify where they thought the rock was right out of David's hand. Thought it was top 8. Gets on a bit of a slide, though. Scott Howard giving it a nice sweep, and it will go just to the top 4. Sam and Rob starting to work on it, getting the curl. Is it going to be able to get by? No, it's going to clip the Yellowstone and still open up the hole to the 4-foot. Glenn looking at that Yellowstone in the 8-foot, wants to come in and roll off it. Big scrub by Tim March, one of the best sweepers you'll find. And it will clip the yellow, just opens it all up now. But there's that collection of 3 rocks on the right-hand side as you look down the sheet. So they're going to try to draw around it. Sam Mia has been curling for 23 years. Very proud. She's a 3rd-generation curler in her family. High school English teacher. And is the reigning evening women's champion at the UCC. And just a little extra weight, it carries it to the back 8. As a member here at the Oshawa Curling Club, I tried to give them my insight on the ice, and apparently I didn't do a very good job. Usually about 4 feet of curl, and it's fairly quick most of the time. And if it's on that path with a little extra weight, it will run straight. catching a piece of it, and it will roll to that back yellow and nudge the back yellow out, sitting 2. Forefoot and the button available for Sam. Big sweep by Brendan and Rob. And right to the lid. Testing, looking for a little bump back. Back 12. March with back 12 weight. Now Scott Howard will finish it off, get it by the red stone, and punch it back, sitting 2. You nudge that red stone back, you might be able to hide it a little bit behind the red that is at the top 4. See it right down the center line. Just want to move that one back and maybe move a little to the right as you look at the screen. Right to it will be shot. They can nudge it back. Head down on this one. Starting to move. They're holding it very nicely, though. And just going to kiss the second one. Very nice little one. That's top 4. Now for the Howard team, they might be able to kick that sideways between the 2 reds. I'm not sure of the separation between the red and the yellow stone. A little jump on this rock. Just want to kick it sideways. Ooh, and flashes. Depending on how much he push that red stone back. It looks like he may have to bump the yellow stone. To move the red back. We're taking a lot of ice. Oh, looking to, appears just to guard it up. So they will take center line, maybe top 8. Good communication between the front end and the skipper. This must have caught something because it just took a left turn, so this one will be hogged and now leaves the door open a little bit for Team Howard. Scott Howard coming by, trying to, again, kick that yellow out. Last rock, third end. Bondy leading 2-0. March, big sweep on it right now. And kicks it through the hole. It looks like it is a count of 2. Depends on the count of that yellow and red right in the back 8. They were playing a little bit to see what would have happened if they had have hit one in the front. So Howard team now on the board. We'll see whether it's 2 or 3 when they put the score up. Now, of course, this is the Howard team. They're not very used to, I think, putting a score up. Usually it's done for them. All we do know is they did score 2 at least. It's not bad. Gunn's got pretty good weight to throw a guard up or 2. What's interesting with a game like this is with the Howard team, they're so familiar with the slam rocks, and Glenn keeps a very detailed book on all the rocks he throws, and he's old school. He has a book that he writes information on all the rocks as he works through the season. And coming in cold into an arena like this, he's getting an opportunity just to throw these rocks for the first time. And that one will just come into the house. That's good sweeping there. Good strong sweeping, got it into the house. And it was a 3 count in the third end, so Howard now with a 1-point lead. Fourth end of play here at the Oshawa Curling Club. The Canadian Junior Cup. This was an auction online for a team to play the Howard squad. It's very nice that Glenn and his squad was willing to jump in and be part of it and help raise funds for the Junior Cup, which of course in these pandemic times had to be put on hold, but will be back in force for the end of 22. And of course, we've seen postponements all across curling, doesn't matter what level. Need this one to finish. It's going to slide to the back and out through the back door. They like the line, both of them working hard, March and Howard. And that's protecting very nicely that red stone just in the back button. So very quickly, Dave Bondy wants to clear that front up. And the straight peel. Glenn going to put the guard up again. And look for another peel, that center line guard. So it's going to be more on the nose and opens things up. Mather's yelling top 8. The wait for this. Scott Howard now finishing this one. And it will go into the top 12 and get into the top 8 as well judged. Sitting 2 now. Again, trying to open up the front is Bondy. Mia slides this one by the center guard, but it just nudges off the center guard. Thought that was passed. And Glenn's going to put back the guard. Or they're now looking at. I think he flirted with a brief idea of bringing another one into the house. Very nice guard by Tim Mart. Sam looking to clear up the front again. Peels it away. Scott just going to replace the guard on the center line. Just making it more difficult to get into the house to get after those two red stones counting. And again, trying to clean up the center line. Maybe drive this one back. Hits the nose off that red and able to take the back red out and roll out and leave him sitting one. Very nicely done. Nice little raise to clean up the mess that was starting to develop. Let's try to get rid of the yellow. He'll punch that on the nose, and it will exit stage left. So Bondy able to get himself out of some trouble. Very nice with that raise to clean up the middle. Last rock of the fourth end. And Team Bondy will punch that right on the nose and stick around for one. After 4 ends of play, it is tied 3-3 between Team Bondy from the Unionville Curling Club and Team Glenn Howard. Now, we have been told there's going to be a lineup change as Glenn Howard is going to take a break, and Pat Jansen's. Talk about having yourself a nice little spare. And it's not a bad one to have on the speed dial as well. Jansen is coming in to play for Glenn Howard. That was a 2-minute break. And it is tied at 3 after 4 ends. And I was incorrect on the lineup change. Glenn Howard feels pretty good. He's going to stick around, throw lead rocks. Pat Jansen coming in to play. And Dave Mathers has been eliminated from competition and will be joining me in the booth. Summarily dismissed is Mathers. And so Team Bondy scoring 2 in the second end after a blank opening end. Howard came back with 3 in the third. And a very nice hit and stick to score 1 in the fourth end by Bondy. All tied up. Now, did you lose the toss, Dave Mathers?
Yeah, I lost more than the toss, I think, Rob. But no, a little water break and just coming up here to see how you were making out upstairs.
Well, good to see you, and welcome to the Oshawa Curling Club.
Great to be here. I don't know if you were able to pick up on it from up here, but the ice is lightning quick. It's we were getting some crazy fast times, and it's been fantastic. We're having a lot of fun out there, a lot of laughs, and they scored a quick deuce on us there in the second end, and had to have a little pep talk, bring the guys up a little bit. But no, we're having a lot of fun.
Well, your lead is a little weak, isn't he?
Yeah. He's doing great. We were joking with him out there. After all these years, he might have finally found his position.
Yeah.
But now he's doing okay. There's some funny faces after he's sliding.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Now, but
well, I was concerned when he said he was doing his stretching in the locker room. He didn't look like he thought he was only going to maybe get a couple of ends in, but now he's flexing his knee now.
Yeah. No, he
is
did
he looking
say,
for the pity? Is he looking for a little sympathy?
He's looking for something.
Yeah.
He did say, just as even this game has gone on, it's starting to feel better, and that's sort of been the case actually for the last couple years. You'd think it would be the opposite, where the more you play, the more worn down it gets. But he finds the more he throws, I don't know if like lubricated's the right word, but it actually starts to feel better the more he plays.
Loosens up a little bit. Now, this is a little unique for you guys. I know you practice a lot in curling clubs to play a game, though. You don't see much game action in curling clubs anymore.
No, and it's nice, especially given the timing with our provincials coming up this week. Tim and I were saying out there that it's nice to even just get a couple, get some sweeps under your belt, because with everything that's been going on here in Ontario, it's been a while since we've even played a game. So nice to even just get a couple sweeps going.
Well, you were replaced by a pretty good sweeper here in Pat Jansen, who's now wearing the colors of Brendan Botcher's team, as he has jumped in as the third on the Botcher team.
Yeah, we brought Pat out today. We just weren't sure how many rocks the skipper was going to be able to throw there, but we kept Pat on the bench for the first half. We didn't want him to throw too many practice rocks. Let him in on the secrets of Team Howard, but he'll be okay.
Now, what is the plan for the provincials for Team Howard with Glenn and his issue with his knee?
Yeah, we're actually not sure yet. It's kind of a day-by-day thing. Glenn's been doing a lot of physio work and a lot of work with his trainer and such. So we're sort of taking it day by day. I think he's hopeful he's going to be able to play. What the lineup will look like, we're not 100% sure, but we have Adam Spencer coming with us.
Your super spare.
Our super spare. We brought him out of retirement for about the 7th time. So
well, didn't he win? He won an event at the start of the season, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he won the. He went to the Everest Curling Club Championships in Ottawa as Team Ontario. So he won the Curling Club Championship for Ontario, which was
not really retired.
Not really retired. He fakes like he's retired, but he's itching to get back, I think. So.
So when you get an opportunity to play in a new club like this, and what did it take you, about an end or 2 ends to get used to, as you said, the speed and the curl?
About an end. Like, we didn't throw any practice rocks. We just sort of flipped a coin and went at it. But Glenn's first shot was a total guess, and Tim and I were out of his hand thinking it was pretty close, and it bounced off the backboard. So after an end, you sort of figure it out. You can time a few rocks, but club's been great. Ice has been great here at the Oshawa Curling Club. It's been a lot of fun.
And this Bondy team has been stayed with you pretty much throughout. They haven't looked like they have been intimidated. They came right at you. Were able to get that deuce in the second end.
They've been great. Tie game after 4.
Yeah.
They've been great. A lot of fun, lots of laughs. You can tell they love the sport, which we do as well. It's been fun.
And they've been playing together as a team for 4 years, so there's that comfort level too. It's not like it's a
For sure. What you said, they're from the, is it the Unionville Curling Club?
Curling
Yeah.
Club, But you're right, this gets on a slide path and off she goes.
We did notice coming back towards the glass in the fourth end, it did start to come down a little bit for speed. Just with how quick it was naturally going to come down a bit eventually. But going this way again in the fifth end, it doesn't look like it's slowed down any.
Well, this is my home club, and I played on sheet 5, and I don't know if I give you the right numbers or not, but it has been quick. It is usually pretty quick.
In the second end, first end, second end, I'm forgetting now, but we got a hog to stop time of 27.8 seconds, and I got a hog to hog time of 16.4 seconds.
You got 16
to the tee line. So that'll, for anybody watching, that'll give you an idea of just how quick it was. And working off the Christmas weight still after the break, that's a long time to be sweeping hog to hog. So
That's good. It's training for you.
Yeah,
This is what
exactly.
you're doing. This is all about training.
that's right.
Now, have you changed the strategy change at all when you come into a curling club? I know with arena ice and knowing the rocks that are on the slam or perhaps in a provincial, did the strategy stay the same?
Largely, I would say it does. You're probably a little more cautious or a little bit more defensive, just naturally. Curling club ice doesn't have the swing or the late break that arena ice will have. So you don't have that draw shot to bail you out if you do get in some trouble. Just being able to hide behind a bunch of guards or that late finish to get around something. But it's largely the same. I would say your weight probably changes a little bit. But I would say it's largely the same for the most part. So Tim's making his debut at third today.
I was
too.
wondering too. When I saw the lineup, I went, "This is interesting."
Yeah, and he doesn't lack confidence at the best of times, and he's played pretty well so far. So kind of sets up for what we're going to be hearing about this week, I'm sure.
You're going to be telling Scott that at any time he cannot fulfill his duties.
And just while we're out there, you've probably noticed in the fact that you're a member here, but pretty vibrant and well-attended junior program. I like it was across all 8 sheets when we were here. That's great to see.
They really worked hard at the Little Rock and the junior program. My son went through the Little Rock and the junior program here, and they've just got some really dedicated volunteers who want to see the game grow, and it's wide open. It's a friendly atmosphere. In fact, still got some juniors working with some of the Little Rocks now just to throw some extra rocks, and it's nice to see that. You kind of worry sometimes that you get that gap. A lot of kids will play and then walk away from it for whether it be high school or after high school when they get into college or university. But to get them inspired and to enjoy the time on the ice, that's key.
Yeah. Curling has always kind of struggled with 2 things. First, attracting people to the game. So just seeing so many people here is amazing. And then, like you said, Rob, it's keeping people in the game when they go through college, when they go through university. It's tough. That work-life curling balance is tough to manage sometimes. So. What a shot.
Look at
Tim.
that, able to nudge the yellow back and out. So now Team Bondy in a little bit of trouble now, trying to find a place to put the rock. Looking for the freeze or looking for the double? I think he's looking at the board weight double.
Definitely there. You can't see a lot of that red rock tucked behind the guard there, but it definitely makeable.
And it will run along the center line with weight and then kick over. I've been impressed with how confident the team has been. I mean, they've made their decisions, and for the most part, very few mistakes. They've been in it throughout. Past
This
the
looks
guard.
really good.
This looks really nice. Very nicely done by Dave Bondy. You're not making it easy on you guys.
No, they're certainly not. No, like you said, they've made a lot of shots, and this isn't a slight at all, but they do have sort of the curling club release, just a little bit less rotation. And they've been able to draw very well around a bunch of guards, which has been a bit of an adjustment, but they've played really well, really
And
impressive.
on a nice surface they're not familiar with, too. They were trying to say whether or not they thought it might compare a little bit with their own club, and they haven't had any problem adjusting to it. We'll have to send this tape to Brendan Botcher to see if he's happy with his decision. That was a good sweep by Jansen. That was an interesting ad by Brendan Botcher, adding Pat, but Pat is familiar with that team. And they are headed to the Briar.
What did I tell you, Rob? What did I tell you? This is what I'm gonna have to put up with all week now.
They're looking up at you, going, see,
Yeah.
we don't need you. Look, we got the strength here.
Tim plays 5 good ends, and this is what happens.
Now he wants to come up.
Alrighty, Rob. Pleasure chatting with you. Rob. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll send him up here.
Apparently you've been subbed out now and you're back in. Apparently I'm hard to work with. I've already been through one color guy. So Dave's going to go back into service, and apparently March is now going to take the time off. Oh, and that just rolled off and in behind the Yellowstone. So red sitting 2. No, I believe it's just sitting 2. So now trying to add to it. Here's Scott Howard. And in it comes. It looks like it's a 3 count for Team Howard. As David Mays goes in for another warm-up, and Tim March now. N6 in this showdown between Team Bondy and Team Howard. And there's Glenn's knee causing a little bit of trouble with a hogged rock for the guard that he was trying to throw up. You could see him flex it, having a little trouble with his left knee. Yeah. So now I have a newbie.
Go that way, over on your head. That'll go this way.
You got to teach him how to do everything.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got it all figured out now.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Still
That
catching
was
my
about-
breath.
what's I thought you guys were athletes. You only made it through 5.
We're a little rusty out there. We're shaking the rust off. I don't know what Dave was saying up here, but don't listen to anything he says.
Oh, he was incredibly complimentary.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. So we were talking about coming into, you practice so much in curling clubs, but your game action is arena ice. So
Yeah.
what do you notice most of all when you come into a situation where you have to play a game on curling club ice? How long does it take you to get a feel for the ice?
It definitely takes a few shots. It's a different throw. Like I remember when we the first time we were out there, we're like, so do we do curling club throws or do we do arena throws? And it's a little straighter, so you just basically a little less handle, a little less set.
Now that was 3 in the last end you scored, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
three,
so
yeah.
leading now 6-3 after 5 ends of play. So we were talking about preparation as you get ready for provincials. How's it going? Or you just, as you
good,
said, you're
yeah.
shaking off the ice.
Yeah,
the rust.
I've been out a bit. The boys we've been out probably 5, 6, maybe 7 times. But yeah, it's curling's one of those things, especially sweeping, where no matter what you do in the gym, it's just your body's in shock when you go out there. So
And of course, it's been a strange year. You haven't been on the ice, of course, as much as you want to be. Haven't been able to get into game action, and I know that's something that everybody is struggling with.
yeah, oh yeah. COVID's put a lot of pressure on every. You could see it early on in the Scotties out there too. All the girls are just struggling kind of early on, and now they're all rolling. You should have seen how fast the ice was out there the first few ends. It was.
It is quick, and if you
Yeah.
throw it with a little bit of a little extra weight, you don't get the curl, and off she goes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This Bondy team, though, has been very competitive. They've
Yeah,
stayed
they
with
have.
you. They haven't been afraid to try a couple of things.
That run back he made in the
Oh, it
fourth
was
was
a beauty. Cleaned up everything.
Absolute beauty.
Looked like you guys were set up for a pretty good end, and all of a sudden, boom, all done.
It's the funny thing with curling. Can't look too good too early.
No.
It just takes one shot and then everything turns around, right? We actually, when I was on Team Epping, we actually did a clinic and half the team or 3 of the guys were at the clinic, so they're
Is
using
that right?
they're using some of the tools the tools we gave them against us.
Now you're very familiar. This is now the Canadian Junior Cup, but formerly the TCA. You're very familiar with that TCA and playing in that.
Yep. That was always really the tournament that we look forward to every year. So I was in touch with Grant. I've been helping him with a few things, and I just want to make sure that this tournament keeps running. It's the best junior tournament in the world, and the exchange that you do to Switzerland is there's just no better experience. So Pat, who's spurring for us, we won 1 year together, and we went to Switzerland, and we beat Scott in the final. So we've all got a little TCA experience. I think Dave needs to come back up in the
I was going to
booth.
say he maybe needed a longer break. He's not going to be happy when he hears this back. now,
That's
too,
okay.
But
He'll get over it. He's used to me.
what was it? Did you guys have very brief? You didn't have any practice really. You just kind of jumped right into the game. What was strategy set up, basically? Just try to get some guards in play and see what happened after that?
Yeah, the main strategy was just seeing if Glenn could stay on his feet. He hasn't thrown. We've had a few practices, but he's just slid on the side. I think he's only thrown about 10 rocks. So I think we were just trying to get a few rocks in play. And
You'll hear about it all the way home.
Yeah. he's starting. It seems like he's starting to get a groove though. Every slide's been a little more stable. It's a good sign for us. And Patty came right off the bench and had an absolute beauty label on that
no
draw.
kidding.
Did you tell everybody that he's coming in for third at Botch?
Yeah, and what an ad that is. I mean, he's familiar with them. He's been there with them before, but it's a difficult situation with all the media that happened around that team. That one slides all the way through. But when we were talking with them before the game, Pat said, "No, it's a good group." He says it maybe was blown a little more out of proportion. He says, I can't tell you too much, but he says, I'm very comfortable with the situation I'm going into. And there's going to be a lot of media attention on him. A lot of focus after a team like that makes that kind of move.
Yeah. Yep. It was a bit of a shocker, I think, for everybody in the curling world.
But we're at that point, too. We get to the end of a quadrennial, and then the carousel starts.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see how things shake up this year. That's always, even as a curler.
Look at this curl. Settles in nicely and right on top. And even the skipper gives it away. Nicely done. One of those ones you say, you're killing me here. Samia with the very nice shot.
I don't know if you noticed, but we've got a lot more curl on, I guess, this in-turn coming home than we do on the out-turn. So the sheet's a little bit slanted. This looks like it's a little heavy too.
When you guys get together to practice, where do you practice out of, or have you been pretty much individual trying to get your workouts in?
I go up north a lot to practice with these guys. So like last weekend, especially when it was pre-COVID, I would go up most off weekends, and then I practice on my own during the week. I actually practice with Pat quite a bit during the week too. So, and then these guys practice together during the week. Yeah, but we've got some of our best friends live down the street from the Howards, so we go up and stay with them.
And I sit here and we can watch both Glenn and Scott. It's amazing how the juices get going again, because they're they're talking about the way rocks are moving and the way the ice is reacting.
Yeah. That's the one thing you miss from practice. You just getting in and making shots and figuring the ice out, and it's a nice tune-up for us for provincials too. This looks good. Sweep it.
Again.
Sweep it.
Need to carry it. And, gets by. Very nice stone by Samia. And even gets a high five.
She's actually been playing great. She's made a lot of shots. Is this Scott's first?
Yeah. So skip stones now. So Scott's got to follow this down.
Mine looks good.
Yeah. The side of the button is there, and even if it curls, nudge that yellow away. He's two pretty good sweepers, though.
Yeah, this isn't the hunt.
Pat will dig a trench.
That's a good shot.
There for second. Jensen even got outfitted in his new kit right away, too. They didn't fool around.
He was actually asking me before the game, which jersey should I wear? I was like, well, what do you got? He's like, well, everything. I've got everything now. He's got the Canada jerseys, the Alberta jerseys.
You've had the opportunity, too, when you take a look at your bio, the teams that you've played with, and as you mentioned, Epping, played with Keene and Howard.
Yeah.
It's one of those things we were just talking about, finding that right fit, and we see that oftentimes. All of a sudden, teams change their lineup. You knew that Glenn wanted to play with Scott, and that a few years back changed the lineup of the Howard team.
Yeah.
And now, as we mentioned, we're getting to the point where we're going to see I think, a lot of changes throughout the country.
Yeah, you always hear some feathers ruffling,
Yeah.
but you never know what's going to happen, right?
Well, the slam that we did in Chestermere, Ben Hebert was talking to us off the air and was saying that, he's heard rumors about what might happen and who might go where and who wants to step back and who wants to step back
Yeah.
in. So I guess that's one of the fun parts of it, but it can be a little stressful. And
It is, yeah. Especially for players, we're all our own manager out
Yeah.
there, right? So it's different than a lot of sports where you know.
This one doesn't have, just trying to guard it up. And does this have enough? It's going to be over, and it over curls across the line. Is there room there?
Should be room. It is curling in here on the intern side, so he's got a tiny piece of the rock.
And maybe a hack weight.
Yeah. Gives a little room for air. Anything out less than nose should be good here.
I said in the first four ends, it was interesting to watch the junior curlers out here, sneaking a peek
Oh,
over
yeah.
to sheet 4 and go, wait a minute, that's the Howard team.
They got a good number of junior curlers
Yeah,
out
it
here.
was a very good junior program
he's
here.
gonna
This
have to-
one's a little tight.
That's
No, this is
just a
going
little
to
soft.
bump off that, and it will be a count of 1. So
They've got another shot here.
and they got one more to add
Yeah.
a second if they can get rid of that red.
I think you're getting Glenn in the booth up here next. So you get the great. He's making his commentator debut here. I'm gonna pop down.
All right, you got to go back to work. Thanks for joining us. All right, there it is, another analyst I've been through. So looking now to add to that, they've got the side of the 4-foot. If they can grab a little more of that 4-foot than that red stone in the top, yellow gets a chance to add 2 more. Taking ice on the edge of the 12-foot. Last rock, 6th end, with 1 in their pocket, looking to add another. Brand new path, throwing a little extra, and that will be 1 yellow for Team Bondy. 6-4 after 6. I keep working through analysts here, and I'm beginning to think it's me.
This way.
Joining us now is Glenn Howard. You made it through 6.
I made it through 6 somehow, Robbie.
How does it feel?
It's sore.
Yeah.
You can tell by I'm not exactly puring it out there.
No, we saw you flex a couple of times.
Yeah, that's right.
Both Tim and Dave were both a little concerned for your
Well,
well-being.
that's nice that my team's taking care of me or worrying about me,
It
right?
wasn't a
That's
lot of concern. It was only a
a
little.
little bit. That's right.
Tell me about, first of all, physically, I know it's difficult because you love being on the ice, and how's the physio and the rehab going?
Good. I've been working on it for about a month and a half now. It just kind of came out of nowhere, and it's sore. I think I kind of abused my knee at the beginning of the year. We've never played so much curling ever than we did this year in like September, October,
Front end
November.
loaded, yeah.
And it was a lot. And the knee, I think, got a little ticked off and said, I've had enough. But, yeah, it's coming. It's coming good. It's coming like, literally every day. It's a little bit better. Every week's a little bit better. So, yeah, just keep plugging away.
Did you front end load because you needed the points and you wanted to get back into the slam circuit and you wanted to get as much as you could?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, of course, we wanted to get ready for. We had that pre-qualifier for the trials. We had that early in September, I think it was, and you had to get ready for that. And then, of course, we didn't win that, so then you had to get rid of the pre-trials. And then that was the end of October. And then you're right. I wanted to get into the slams. Love the slams, and you build out some points. And we've had a really good year.
You had a good run.
We
Yeah.
played really well this year. So it's nice to get back out there because we've had a hiatus for it's pushing 3 months now.
Now you got to get the band back together.
Yeah, to get the band. Like I haven't seen Dave forever. I saw Tim come up last weekend to have a little practice, but I haven't seen Dave since well before Christmas. I guess it was probably November.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice to see the boys again.
It's been a tough 2 years too.
It has been a tough 2 years.
Kind of got
Rob.
back to normal. We got a couple of slams in at the start of the year,
Yeah.
and then everything shut down. I was able to do the Manitoba Women's Provincials before Christmas, and then we did the Alberta Men and Women just after the New Year, and then of course everything closed up again.
Yeah.
So it's difficult because you've got teams that have been nominated, and and I know that the men's teams trying to avoid the nomination process. You really want to earn your way to a Brier.
100%. Yeah, you want to play, and I get it's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. And obviously they had some decisions to make for the women, and there's pros and cons to how it transpired. But on the same token, at least we're playing. That's the way I look at it. Is people might not like the fact that how it all worked out, whatever. But at least we're playing. We're back. It's better than sitting on the couch, right?
And now that it's opening up a little more, it looks like we should be able to get all the provincials in. I know that Manitoba had to move theirs from the end of January because of restrictions in Manitoba. They're now going to move it to the middle of February. They've changed things up. Usually they play in an arena. They're now going to play in a curling club.
I did not know
It's
that.
going from the Selkirk Arena to the Selkirk Curling Club. It's just simply because of the confines and crowds and trying to control as much of it as they can. And we've seen that too at the Scotties and Thunder Bay. They're controlling the crowd and just trying to be as protective as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the men were a little bit luckier than the ladies in the fact that ours is about a month later. The ladies had nowhere to move. Like they couldn't book it, put it back a week or two. It just wasn't possible. So the men, we can get away with that.
Yeah.
And then things are easing up. The restrictions are sort of coming off a little bit. So I think that's making it a little bit better. But I'd like to think we're on the other side of the mountain. Rob, are we? Tell me we're on.
Now, this Bondy team has been pretty competitive.
A
They've
thorn
come out
in our side.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're making a ton of shots.
He made that
Good
big
one.
rescue shot.
He
in
did.
The fourth.
Yeah, what a beauty! Ran the front, and they're playing well. They're playing very, very well. The ice is crazy fast.
Yeah.
Crazy fast. It's fun. It's nice.
This is my home club, so I'm very familiar with sending a rock through to the pack. So I'm very.
Does that have anything to do with the ice, though?
No, that
Okay.
could be it's a combination.
Okay.
I blame the ice.
Okay, that's the move. Yeah, this is he got so fast at first, just slowing down a hair down the middle right now, but it's really nice conditions. There's a slightly tilt to the sheet too.
Yes.
It's kind of this intern that Dave just doesn't curl.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tim was mentioning that too, especially on the intern side coming home.
Yes. Yeah.
But again, that's one of those things you have to. It takes you a couple of ends to get used to it and try to figure out where the runs are and where the.
That's welcome. My phrase is welcome to curling.
Yeah.
Like that's just the team that can figure out the ice quicker than anybody else. They're going to do better, and that's the whole part of it. It's never the same all the time, and little nuances and little runs, like you said, and this sheet has a little tilt to it, and you have to pick up on that and speed. Right, the speed's always changing. Probably more so in the curling clubs than arenas, but that's you got to figure that out.
When was the last time do you think you played a game in an arena, in a curling club?
Well, so this is a little skewed. I play at home in my
do you?
major league, so
Okay.
it's Wayne and Sherry Mada and myself and my wife Judy. So we've been playing in the curling club, so we haven't stopped
So
for
Judy's
25 years.
Judy's the strength of that.
100%. Yes,
The other two
absolutely.
never show up.
No.
I mean, they're always somewhere.
Actually, none of us have
One's
showed up
in
this year.
Beijing,
Yeah. Sherry's up in Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay. You can't find them.
Wayner's in Beijing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we have a lot of. We've been doing that for probably 25 years. So we still play club. That's pretty much it, though. And then the odd bonspiel. There's a few bonspils we still play, but it's fun. But the ice makers. There's so much knowledge across the country, and in the province of Ontario, we've got some terrific ice makers. And the ice conditions that we have now are so much better than we used to have. And it's great. And
I like the fact there's a shared knowledge now too. I
exactly.
mean, that they're all willing to say, come in and take a look and help everybody out. And then we've got young ice makers, and I'm going to point a finger at John Wall, who we've got to know on the slam circuit. Is a rink rat, wanted to know about making ice, and has become one of the top ice makers along the way too, learning from the best.
Exactly, and that's and then John, he brings that back to his home club, and then it just sort of morphs from there. And to your point, that's what I'm finding. It's a really tight fraternity, the ice makers basically across the world, and they're sharing secrets. They, hey, we did this, under those conditions, we did this, and it's awesome to see. Look at this
Nice
little hit and roll. Oh.
Just needed
Sam,
a few more
she's
feet to hide it.
played so well.
Yeah.
So well. And they're from Unionville, they were telling us.
That's right.
Yeah.
They've been together about 4 years, they said. And
Good crew.
Sam is the reigning UCC Women's Evening champion. So
Oh, I
she's,
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, they brought the ringer.
See, now it's all making sense why they're playing so well. Now this one just doesn't curl. No. This is just going to run right down there. That's got some curling to do. Yeah, see, they want Dave to try and carve this. It's coming up a little bit. Davey's making a move.
Going to roll to the outside.
Tim's barking a lot of orders out there, isn't he?
I think he's very comfortable in that
in
position.
that third
Yeah,
position.
Yeah,
Interesting.
got to watch out. Scott's going to have to watch out.
Scott's going to get right.
Not a bad little spare you got here in Jansen. This kid I think he's got some skills.
Anything. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, then these. I'll tell you, Rob. Obviously, it's so cool playing with my kid.
Yeah.
Because playing with Scotty, it's kept me going, and then to play with Tim and Dave as well.
Yeah.
They're just great people, and we have a lot of fun out there. And that's
Pat
why I play.
Pat for many years.
Absolutely. I played against him. This is the first time I've ever played with Pat. It's always been against him. Usually when he played with John Epping, and then of course other teams he's been on, but. And good for him to get the nod from Team Botcher.
He's going into a difficult situation,
yeah.
but he's got a comfort level with them.
Of course,
and,
absolutely.
And that certainly helps. And I asked him earlier, I was telling Tim that he said, the media and all the storm controversy that floated around, he says, no, he says, we're a pretty good unit. He says, I think we're going to be very comfortable once we get to the ice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because I guess, there's... it didn't play out great on social media, but social media as well.
Yep.
So, time will tell. Timmer got that one back a bit.
Yeah. Dave's going to try to carve
that over. He's going to get it to the nose anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe a little low. Oh, look at it go.
He's going to get the roll.
Not quite.
Not enough.
Timmer does look comfortable in that
there,
position.
Yeah. You might have to make some decisions.
Scott's looking comfortable at skip.
You did get a couple of. They were very happy with a couple of your guards that you threw. They didn't
know,
like the hogged ones.
No, I know. Yeah, that wasn't the best throw, but maybe it leads my position.
Yeah,
maybe that's it, Rob.
The team discussion will be interesting after this. Yeah.
Hopefully, I get more than one vote.
With strategy and something like this, I know it's a fun game, but you just try to get guards in play and just to see what happens. And
we're trying to we're trying to make every shot. Don't get me wrong. It's not as if we're sitting back and letting them in the game. But this is a legit game. We're trying to make shots as best we can. The strategy is a little bit different, but we're trying to get rocks in play just to kind of get the comfort again. Like I said, it's been 3 months.
Yeah.
Since we've been together and have some games, and it feels like you're just coming out of the summer and starting the whole new year again. But so you just get different shots, so you get comfortable with everything in play.
Bondy now trying to do the same thing, get the hit and the roll. He's a little outside. He'll take the roll the other way behind the other guard.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Really
roll.
Look at that.
Nicely hid.
Well, Skipper Howard, you better make some shots here.
Always coming around the wide side.
Ooh, uncharted
Yeah.
territory.
Well, you guys have thrown this one. Now we've got Jansen as the third, and oh boy,
Yeah, what's happening here?
you guys
Oh,
have
Tim
shuffled the
wants-
deck big
Tim
time. Tim
wants
wants
to
to sweep.
sweep, yeah.
Well, this is comfort zone for him.
Totally. And he loves to sweep. One of the best in the biz.
Well, you got another one too, and Jansen too. You couldn't ask for two stronger horses to have.
And Dave's no slouch himself. Well, Dave's liking it.
Gets by
That's a
to the
good
tee
throw.
line,
That's a real good throw.
Oh,
look
look
at
at
that
that.
finish.
Oh. and it's hidden.
Pistol.
We're talking with Pat Jansen jumping in with Botcher, and we're now to the end of a quadrennial. Are you expecting a lot of changes across the country?
I do. I don't know of any per se, but I do believe a lot of, if you pick the top 10 teams, I think you're going to see a lot of changes down that lineup. I don't know what it is now, Rob, but just the guys, there isn't quite the, what's the word? I don't know whether it's not loyalty, or maybe it is loyalty, maybe it's commitment. I don't know what it is. But
I think the Olympics changed everything.
It has, 100%.
To get that opportunity to try to represent your country, all of a sudden now they can look for that magic mix every 4 years.
And if it doesn't pan out, you got to change. Maybe I don't know.
I know I was just telling Tim that we did the slam in Chestermere, and Ben Hebert was talking to us, and he was trying to, spitball on some changes. He thinks there's going to be a flurry of changes, but we've seen that in the last, I guess, the last two quadrennials. We've seen people jump in and jump out and try to find that magic.
And I think that's going to be what's going to continue. I think that you're going to see every quadrennial is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be changes, and and then people are moving. People are having kids, and they're the women. It's all over the map, and that's just the way it is now. Back in the day, we didn't do that as much. It just never happened. But to your point, it's the Olympic quadrennial. It seems to be more maybe the defining factor.
A little light, right. Dave, on that one, not able to get into it. So now leaving same shot for Scott to get his last rock in the seventh end. He's got one in his pocket, wants to add another, and now knows the path.
Yeah, this should be close. He's just thrown it. The question is if second path is going to be a little bit quicker. That's what you always got to factor in. It's generally not going to be slower, so he'll probably take a little off it and leave it to the boys. Looks a little wider.
Yeah.
Not curling at all. I'm not sure it's going to curl enough.
Just has to be. Is
it there? Not going to beat out that other one? Oh, don't think so.
Doesn't look like it.
That's strange. That's strange that didn't curl, because that's quite a difference. Couple of feet, eh?
I think that was only one.
I think so, too. Maybe pop that a little bit, but that it should have curled more. Definitely.
Well, you can discuss that. Tell them I've got it written down. I'll put a little star beside it. You can have a post-game discussion.
Yeah, 2.5 hour ride home tonight. He's going to hear about it.
So thinking that's just a single, 7-4, in coming home in the eighth against Team Bondy from the Unionville Curling Club. And how's your brother doing? I know that he didn't get his opportunity up at the Scotties with him testing positive. Is he feeling okay?
He is. Yeah, I feel awful because he just literally flew in, did the test, tested positive. He's been negative for this whole 2 years.
Yeah.
And then it's the old, you quarantine. He was in the hotel room, never moved, and then quarantined for 5 days. And I think he's still testing a bad number, whatever those PCR numbers are. And he's feeling fine though.
Okay.
He just said he was tired, a little bit of flu-like, not too debilitating, just frustrating more than
I know. Yeah.
And he wants to be out doing what you do. He wants to be out commentating, doing his thing, and
We do have one Howard then doing a game. There we go.
that's right there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's frustrating for everybody, right? And from even the athletes, the commentators, to
Well,
tech
just everything
people,
they've gone
it's
through, even
just-
at the Olympics too, and
Ah.
the scare that the Australian team had in mixed doubles, last night and into this morning. When I went to bed last night, the Australian team was out because the Talia Gill had tested positive, came back with a positive result, and then tested again and was negative. So they were out, and then they were back in again, and then they responded with 2 wins.
Unbelievable. And I did the same thing. I went to bed and I went, oh my God, I heard the news.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just happened to get up this morning, flipped on the TV.
And they were playing, yeah,
They
the
were-
same way.
And all of a sudden, Morris and Holman are down 3-0 to Australia. And I went, what is this, a repeat?
I-
It's like, what's happening here? And then I read through that, and that they tested, they're okay, or whatever the case may be. And what a emotional roller coaster for them.
Well, and that's the thing too with this. If you do get COVID and you do test positive, it's in your system. So all of a sudden, it can just rear up and give you a positive again, even though you don't have any symptoms.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they were able to play. You get that opportunity to go all the way to an Olympic Games, and then all of a sudden they say you can't play anymore.
And Rob, you're absolutely right. And they were 0-7.
Yep.
And for them, had they gotten an airplane at 0-7, for them to come back and play 2 solid curling, I watched that game. They played so well against Canada. For them to come back and win those 2 will pay off in spades. Like, they're just gonna get so much experience out of that. And they wouldn't have had that, right? They wouldn't have had that opportunity. It's so cool that they were able to play.
I imagine you've also kept your eye on the Scotties too, and
I've watched a lot of that. If there's curling on, I watch it.
yeah,
and
I'm the same way.
It's been entertaining. It's been great. It's a pick'em, I
Yep.
guess. Northern Ontario and Team Canada. It's going to be a great game tonight, I think.
So it's a little tight.
They just got a little out in motion, so we call it a hook, a little hook to it, and that just curls like crazy. Yeah, I think they might not be picking up that it's just slowing down a hair, and that might be catching them a little bit. This will be an interesting shot from Pat. We haven't gone out this far with the out turn coming home, so this could be really fast because we really haven't played it. They tend to wear it down.
Back 12, they're saying.
It's not curl. It's the straight side of the
Yeah.
feet.
The breaks go on.
Just keeps going though. Like it's just, and that's where you have to come up with an educated guess, right? All 3 of them would have been talking about what's the best to throw. You don't know for sure, and that's where, and again, the teams that can figure that out quicker get the best results.
This is all part of the Canadian Junior Cup, and I was talking. Everybody's had experience at what used to be the TCA, and
Yeah.
But an opportunity to play at a high level as a junior is very important, and that's what the Junior Cup's all about.
That's so cool. I love that. Got to keep the kids interested.
I guess you said you must have put a lot of miles on the old bus traveling around watching Scott, your daughter play. And
Totally. Yep. The TCA, I don't know whether you know, but the very first TCA Bonspiel, I won it.
oh, in the 1800s.
No, the 18. I'm gonna say it was 19 something. I'm not gonna give. Yep, there you go.
81. There we go.
1981, and but it's been going ever since. And I commend the TCA organization. Is just fantastic to put that on for the kids, and we used to look forward to it. All the years I played, and then again I watched Scott, I watched Carly, and now Scott's 31, and now the younger kids. It's so great to see.
So tightened it up a little more.
Yeah. And then Tim can rip
Yeah.
that in there. That's good throw. That's a
nice
So
throw.
that's the boys talked about. They figured out how hard to throw it. They communicated that well, and Pat executed.
still fun for you to be on the ice?
I love it, Rob. Like I really do. That is really the reason. And I own. People ask me a lot, like how long you're gonna go, sort of thing. As long as it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And and this has been a funny year because I wasn't sure. You know, I had a serious accident in last January, a year ago, and I wasn't sure what it was going to feel like. And come out and played really well. I played really well this year, and obviously playing with the boys and still have fun. And yeah, who knows? I don't ever see myself going to quadrennial, but I'm going to take it, literally year by year. We'll see for next year. I don't know. Obviously, see how the body holds up. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
As you know, as we get older, it's you don't feel quite the same. So, but I have a ball. I just feel so comfortable out on the ice and haven't embarrassed myself yet.
No, it's good, and I think that's the key in anything.
It's
is
enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's so fun. If it becomes laborsome and I don't want to be out there, then it's time to pack it in. And
well,
it's such a great game.
Looks like Dave learned from the 2 throws Pat made.
Yeah. So there you go. Like that just they've picked up nice. Like those are 2 really good throws. Dave Pistol and Pat before that. And like even a game like this for us is like I know it's a club team, but it's a competitor. You're out there, you're trying to make shots, and you can't mimic that in practice.
No,
you just can't get that. It's just not the same. And this is awesome.
It's just going to peel that away. Opens it up.
Under the yellow. Open. Yeah, it's a good shot. So I'll ask you a question. How often do you curl a week?
Twice.
Twice a week. Nice.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday in a draft league and Thursday with a regular team. And I was just telling you that, I don't know if it was Tim or Dave, that been able to move my team from the B division to the C very well.
You're supposed to go the other way, right?
I know.
Throwing that out
We
there.
struggled a little bit. And then, of course, the same as you, we haven't been on the ice since mid-December when we closed up before Christmas, and then everything closed up and, took us almost 2 months to get back on the ice again. So you get on the ice the first time, you're going, how do you play this game?
Yeah, that's right. It's like coming out of the summer.
Yeah.
That's right. It's like you haven't played in a while. But this is nice to see. We have lots of kids out here playing.
Yeah, there's a good very good junior program, Little Rock program. My son went through it here at the Oshawa Curling Club and really enjoyed it. And still, up until last year, got out with the Legion boys on the Sundays and still keeps his hand in.
Fabulous. Sam's bringing the heat here.
Yeah.
Might be a double peel.
Oh, almost.
Just missed it.
So what's the next step for you guys? Just getting yourself up to speed and ready to go?
Yeah, we got provincials next week. We'll see how that goes, and then who knows after that. Whether it's Briar or and hopefully the Players' Championship goes. If that goes, I think we got a good shot at getting in that because we've got a good year.
That is the plan. The Players is set to go. Yeah, right now
that's one of our favorites. That's just.
Well, you've done pretty well at the Players. It's been a pretty good run for you.
It has. But just, although the slams are just such great events. They're just so well run. And
when you just think of the way that the slams have gone and the genesis and the uproar when there was the split.
Yep.
And to where the slams are now and the success and we saw it a couple of years ago in North Bay with Matt Dunstone in tears after winning his first slam. He watched the slams. He wanted to be there, and as a young guy, that was his goal.
Yep.
And to see the success of the slams is certainly gratifying because I knew the uproar, and you guys took a real chance stepping away from the regular tour to make the slams a go, and I think we have to tip our hat to the way that you guys you were committed to it and stayed with the plan, and now we're seeing the success of it.
And you're right, Rob. I'm really proud of that time. It was fantastic. We did take a bit of a stance for good reasons, and what's transpired because of it is huge for curling and for the progression of curling. And back to Matt Dunstone, he knew he did something special by winning a slam.
Mm-hmm.
He just beat the best teams in the world, and to win one is so hard. And he knew that, and that's why it was so emotional for him. It was pretty cool to see.
Trying to drive this back. Yeah, just missed the angle by.
He's in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah. No, and as you said too, the slams have attracted the best teams in the world. But now, when you get teams, the world champions coming and Olympic champions coming, and we often joke that you can't swing a broom without hitting a provincial, national, or world or an Olympic champion.
Absolutely. And because everybody wants to play them.
Yep.
Very rarely do people say no.
Well, so Scott's opting just to dump another one in.
Right in
Just
there. Not sure.
That's 5 right now.
Not sure.
Got
he
one
can
at the back?
score. Yep.
So
No,
Yeah.
boy, he cannot score. I
No.
don't see us.
maybe wants to
We
turn
start-
away. They're going to kick a few. I
Skip a
think.
couple,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now looking at the long angle. Yeah, I think even Sam's giggling over there.
Little
Oh, look
angle tap to the
at
button.
this. Yeah. Which side?
Unless you can
no.
come in this one, and whether you can just miss the top two and hit right where
Yeah.
Sam's talking, that might spin in. Glad he's throwing it.
Yeah. The great thing is that Dave knows the situation he's in. Big grin on his face.
Yeah. And you know what I love? He's trying to find a way to score. I
Yeah.
love it.
And Dave's even going in to help out too.
I don't know whether it catches the back ones, but
Yeah.
it's close. I
Yeah,
see what
if
he's
you
saying.
if you knows that,
knows that.
you lose the top two.
Not if it could ever.
No.
If it does clip the other two,
Two.
they'll spin out.
Yeah.
Don't know whether.
Howard, you can put that down as a win for you for your side, Glenn. There that you.
How many? What I want to know is how many CTRS points do we get for this win?
Well, I'll talk to the committee and we'll see what we can do. We want to thank you guys for coming and making the trip down here. We want to thank Team Bondy from the Unionville Curling Club, and we want to thank our producer, director, I believe, talent coordinator, Cassandra Cowan, for doing all the work here to make it to work. Grant was here as a runner. He was just basically as what we call our A2 to bring up guests up to the. Good to see you, and I'm glad you're feeling you're feeling all right. I hope your knee comes around and you have a great run at the
I
provincials.
appreciate that very much, Rob. Thanks for having us.
We want
It
to
was a lot of fun.
we want to thank everybody for being part of this. And coming up again, we'll have the Canadian Junior Cup. We know that it's been a tough couple of years, and we've had some issues with the pandemic, but we look forward to seeing the best young curlers again gathering for the Canadian Junior Cup. Best of luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. And Bondy gave it a nice run, but it was interesting. They started to score big when Glenn Howard left the ice. So I don't know. That's a discussion the team can have on the drive home.
Cut it out.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody. I'm Rob Faulds. Take care.